This story was about the organization of vigilantes on the island of Re-Ga-Lo called Arcana Famiglia. Some of the members of this organization had powers that come from what was called the Tarako, and they called it Arcana powers. This organization maintained order throughout the island of Re-Ga-Lo. One day the only daughter of the leader of the organization, named Felicità, decided to join the organization as well. Together with Luca, his personal bodyguard, they went to the mansion of the Arcana Famiglia. They were greeted by other members led by Dante, who was the head of the intelligence division and director of the Arcana Famiglia, who holds the fourth card of the Tarako called the Emperor. She also met Liberta, who was a member of the intelligence division, Debito, who was the head of the coins division, Pache the head of the wands division, and Nova the head of the cups division. While Felicità was included in the sword division. Since there was no leader in this division, there was a battle among its members organized by Felicità's mother, Sumi-Ri, who holds the 20th card, the Judgment. Felicità won in the battle, so she became the new head of the sword division. During the 59th birthday of Mondo, their leader and Felicità's father, it was attended by the members of the organization. When Felicità arrived there, she once again met the leaders of each division. When she looked at Nova and Liberta, she did not intend to see the contents of their hearts. Jolly suddenly came to and mentioned the first card, the Fool, held by Liberta, the 13th card, Death, held by Nova, and the 6th card, the Lovers, held by Felicità. He told them of Felicità's power to see the contents of others' hearts. This made Liberta embarrassed upon knowing it. According to Felicità, she did not do it on purpose. Jolly said that it was because she was still young, and it was the reason why she could not control it yet. When their leader arrived together with his wife, he announced that he was going to retire and that he would choose someone to replace him. To determine the next worthy leader of the organization, they would conduct an Arcana duel after 2 months, and all members with Arcana powers must participate. With his blessing as the leader and holder of the 21st card, which was the World, he would transfer his position to the winner of this duel, and he would grant whatever the winner asked for. He added that the winner would also marry his daughter, Felicità, which surprised them all. Felicità did not agree with this, but according to his father she should follow the order because she was an official member of the Arcana Famiglia who should obey the wishes of the leader. He told his daughter that if she wanted to defy it, she had to fight and defeat his own father. Determined to make his father bring back its order, Felicità immediately attacked him, but she could not even hit his father. Liberta did not agree with this either, so Mondo provoked him to attack too. Liberta rushed forward, but Nova confronted him and told him that he would not let anyone try to harm their leader. They both got pissed to each other and rushed forward to start a fight, but they were stopped by Debito and Pache. Debito holds the 9th card, which was the Hermit, which could make him invisible. While Pache holds the 11th strength card that made him very strong. But when Liberta used his power, he got away from Pache's strong arms. So Mondo told him that if he really wanted Felicità to be free, he had to win the duel that would take place. Because as what he said, he would grant everything the winner asks for. Felicità was also told by her mother that she needed to win the duel to be able to do what she wanted. While Felicità was taking a moment to relax outside, Liberta approached her. He promised her that if he won the fight he would free Felicità. Nova also showed up and told her that if he won the duel he would not ask her to marry him. The next day, while Felicità was in the office, Liberta came to her and gave her something. They saw Nova running in the corridor and in a hurry. It made them curious to know the cause, so they followed him. They saw him in a room as if he was looking for something, and by accident Felicità saw the current content of Nova's heart and found out what he was looking for. Liberta told Nova they would help him find this cat until they reached the garden. They had a hard time catching it. Fortunately it jumped onto Felicità because the cat liked her. Felicità noticed the cat smell, then Jolly suddenly came and told them about this perfume. Liberta was surprised that Jolly came out of his laboratory at daytime. So Jolly informed them that although he was holding the 18th card, which was the moon, it did not mean that he cannot go out during morning. Felicità thanked Jolly for the information he shared, and he replied that it was his job because he was their family advisor. After Jolly left, the three of them decided to find the owner of the cat. But they had a hard time finding the cat's owner, so they went and talked to Pache along with other members of his division. Then Pache remembered that he knew someone who could help them, and it turned out to be Debito. With the help of Felicita's power, Debito remembered immediately who was the owner of the cat. The three went to get the cat back to the owner. And to show her gratitude, the owner gave Felicita some beautiful clothes. On their way home, the three of them discussed the upcoming Arcana Duel which all of them wanted to win. One night, their maid, Isabella, spread a rumor that she saw a ghost. So Felicita and Liberta went to Nova and encouraged him to help in investigating this issue. But soon they found out that this was done by Luca to scare away Pa Che, who was sleepwalking and wanted to eat what he prepared. So Felicita asked Luca what was he doing and for whom it was. According to Luca, those were for children and would be brought for the event called Piccolino which Arcana Famiglia always does. The next day they went to the church and Felicita came with the other members of the organization. While Debito was trying to make the children laugh with his jokes, Luca and Pa Che shared to Felicita about their past in this church with Debito. While at the mansion, Nova was looking outside and did not go to the Piccolino because he said he had a lot to do. Sumi revisited him and because of the heavy rain she noticed on Nova's face the concern for the children so she told him to go there and check on them. But he said that he had nothing to worry about because the three division heads were there anyway. Because of Sumi Ri's words of encouragement, Nova finally decided to go to the church. While Debito and others were delivering the children back to their homes, Liberta tried to entertain the kids so they would not be bored. After Debito took the last two children, Nova came that startled Liberta and Felicita. According to Liberta, all of the children were already brought by Debito to their homes. But Nova pointed behind them and asked who was the child that was left behind. The boy introduced himself as Elmo and asked Felicita what was wrong with his heart because it was his first time to have that kind of feeling. Because the child felt cold, Liberta took the blanket but when he returned, the boy said that he was going to leave. Nova hurriedly came outside to chase Elmo but it suddenly disappeared. One day Felicita asked Liberta to accompany her to her mother's friend to deliver a scarf. Because they could not understand the map given by Nova, they decided to go through the roofs of the houses. While at the top of the roof, Felicita asked Liberta how long he and Dante had known each other. But Liberta realized that he too could not remember how long they had known each other. As they continued their search, they accidentally fell and damaged a store where they landed. As a payment for the damages, the owner told them to sell the items in the store until afternoon. While Liberta was looking at the masks for sale, there was one mask that was familiar to him. When they got back to the mansion, he showed it to Dante and told him that it was the mask worn by the person who saved him from the orphanage. Dante was surprised but ignored this topic. Instead he scolded Liberta for dragging Felicita into a problem. Liberta got irritated at Dante's reaction so he left. Felicita was about to follow him, but before leaving, Felicita saw Dante's memory of Liberta. She talked to Dante because she was worried about Liberta. So he told her the story on how he and Liberta first met. As he recalled what happened 10 years ago, Liberta also remembered his other memory upon seeing the fire in the town. According to Dante, the power of Liberta was his words. He could do anything with just his words, but there are times when Liberta could not control his power. It was then that he decided to seal Liberta's memory and with Mondo's help, he also sealed its power. He added that he would not remove the seal until Liberta became stronger that it came to the point that he could control his power. When Liberta came home he met Felicita and begged her to look at his memory. But Felicita did not obey on his request so he went straight to Dante. When he confronted Dante, he was told that he was not yet ready to accept the past. Liberta could not accept what Dante did to his memory, and out of anger he left immediately. The next day while at the casino, Debito and Pa Che heard a woman complaining about her lost purse. Nova invited Felicita to join the patrol so she could see what the other divisions were doing. Felicita marveled at how Nova led his division. While they were patrolling the area, Felicita bumped into a man. Then she saw what this man did so they followed him and took the purse he stole. Suddenly its companions came so Felicita and Nova had to fight and they easily defeated them. They also returned the purse to its owner and while they were on their way home, they discussed about Nova's technique to defeat the thieves without shedding blood and told him that she was amazed by it. Then Nova also mentioned to her what he could be the reason why the Arcana Duel will be held. This might be to make her even stronger because she should be the heir to the position. One day Nova received news from his staff that there was an anomaly in the fund being used for the research. Because Nova was training Felicità, he ordered her to gather information inside Jolly's laboratory about the anomaly and its use of the fund. When Felicità came to open the door of the laboratory, she could not open the room. Suddenly Jolly came and told her that he always changes the lock in his laboratory. He also knew that Nova had done it to investigate the fund he was using in the research. He also gave to Felicità the documents containing information about the fund so the others would stop investigating him. After Felicità left, Jolly uncovered what he was hiding inside the laboratory that he did not want others to know for the meantime. While they were looking at the documents given by Jolly, they were surprised to see the clinical charts of Nova's parents. So Nova told Felicità how her parents remained unconscious for 7 years. He informed her that it was because of his power. His parents planned and tried to replace Mondo in the position of leading the Arcana Famiglia. He learned that his parents only used him for their ambitions, so one day he used his power of death to them. One night all the division heads were summoned for an emergency meeting. Since Dante was not around and had to take care of something important, Liberta was asked to attend in Dante's place. Jolly informed them about the pirates who landed on the island, and that they were also able to abduct Mondo's brother and who was also Nova's father. While there was no clear information as to what was the reason for these pirates in abducting Nova's father, they would not act hastily. Nova suddenly left the room, so Liberta chased after him to convince him to save his father. When Felicità came out, Nova decided that they should go to the dock and enter the pirate ship. When they got inside the ship, they faced the pirates, but because of their number, Nova decided that Liberta and Felicità go ahead of him. Nova used his power and quickly knocked the pirates unconscious. Meanwhile, Liberta succeeded in locating Nova's father. When they got out of the ship, the leader of the pirates with a mask similar to the one who rescued Liberta from the orphanage faced them. Felicità and Liberta worked together to fight the leader of the pirates. Then Liberta had to use his power to save Felicità from the falling mast of the ship. Liberta fainted and Felicità was also attacked to knock her unconscious. These people turned out to be Dante and others who only pretended to be pirates to test the three for the upcoming Arcana Duel. When Felicità woke up, they were in the basement of the mansion. Then Jolly went to talk to them. Both Nova and Liberta asked about the condition of Nova's father and the masked leader of the pirates. Jolly said that Nova's father was safe, while they said they have no news about the masked man. He even mentioned that the two used their powers to save Nova's father. After Jolly left, they wondered why he knew what happened on the ship. In his laboratory, Jolly examined the boy named Elmo, whom he was taking care of. After checking on him, Elmo begged Jolly to accompany him for a walk outside. Felicità was also outside and walking down the streets when she saw Jolly and Elmo. She told this to Luca and he warned her about Jolly. According to Luca, although he admired Jolly when it comes to alchemy, but his character was different. The next day Felicità saw Liberta and Elmo together. According to Liberta, he just saw Elmo walking around the mansion. A few minutes later Jolly came to them and they confirmed that the two knew each other. Jolly begged Felicità to give Debito the letter because he would not come to his laboratory if it was him who would ask Debito. After Debito read it, he was stunned to know that it was about one of his eyes. Debito asked Felicità to inform Jolly that his eye was fine, but she could see on Debito's face how angry he was towards Jolly. After that Felicità talked to Nova about what she observed in Jolly and his relationship with Debito, Luca and Pache. She wanted to know the problems they have with each other because she might be able to help them in some ways. Liberta suddenly approached them and asked for help in cleaning the church. So Nova and Felicità came up with a way to invite Debito and Jolly to help in cleaning up the church as well. While they were all busy cleaning, Jolly came. Debito was very angry when he saw him, so Jolly mentioned about Debito's one eye, which was the reason for him to control his arcana power. Until Jolly informed Felicità how the three got their arcana power, which was because of his experimentations. It happened because he wanted to know how the arcana power worked, so he managed to put it on the three of them. Debito was so mad that wanted to kill Jolly, but he could not do it. Pache was equally angry and attacked Jolly, but it immediately blocked by its power. But with Pache's strength, he was able to break its shield and hit Jolly hard. After that, Jolly just stood up and left the place, which made Felicità even more worried because of what happened. Both Nova and Liberta noticed how sad she was, so both of them told her that they would go to Jolly's room. Since no one answered when they knocked and the door was open, they decided to enter the room. They were surprised to see Elmo inside a container. Jolly suddenly came and told them that this was an artificial person that he made, which called a homunculus. The next day, while Felicità was thinking about their discovery the other night, Nova and Liberta hurriedly went to her room and told her about what happened to her father. Felicità and others rushed to her father's room, and when they got there they saw him lying on the bed. According to her mother, Mondo just needed a rest. Felicità left the room for the meantime. Jolly and Dante also left the room. While the two of them were talking, Felicità came and asked them to tell her the things she wanted to know. They went to Jolly's laboratory and they were met by Elmo. Jolly explained that although Elmo was only an artificial human, he holds the 16th card, which was the tower. Then he asked Elmo to go out and play so they could talk about other details. After that, he continued on explaining his reason why he created Elmo. He told them that he was making homunculuses so that he could place the other tarot cards on them. When Felicità asked why he needed to put a tarot card on the homunculus, Dante answered her that when Mondo removed the seal of the tarot, he was able to obtain the card of the world. This card unites all the tarot cards, but there was a price to pay. The 22 cards were able to exist by consuming the emotional strength of the one holding them. But other cards that had no owner were able to survive only because of the power of Mondo's card, the world. And because of this, it was possible that Mondo might suffer a coma or this might kill him. Felicità was troubled and was so sad on his father's condition that she demanded to know how to save him. In order to reduce the burden that Mondo was carrying, they just need to find someone who could hold another card that had no owner. This was what he did to Debito, Luca and Pache when they were children. But only these three succeeded in acquiring the powers of the card, so he still needed to create a homunculus. Then he informed her of another way to save his father, and it was to use another card that she was holding. This was the 10th card of the Wheel of Fortune that had the power to change the relationship between man and the tarot. He added that she had done this before to Sumi-Ri by accident when she was young. During those time her mother also had to use her power to save his father. This power was also the reason why Mondo kept Felicità away from the mansion to prevent her from using it again. But since Mondo knew that he would not last long, he decided to allow Felicità to return to the mansion. This situation made Mondo decide to hold the Arcana Duel so that someone would support her in case he dies, and that's why he also wanted the winner to marry Felicità. After her conversation with Jolly and Dante, Felicità went to her father's room and asked her mother why her father chose the world card. Her mother let Felicità hold her father's hand, and there she saw its past and the reason why he was forced to become the host of this card. Felicità wanted to save her father with the help of the Wheel of Fortune, but Sumi-Ri did not agree on this. When Felicità came out of her father's room, she saw Nova and Liberta practicing. She used her power, which was the lovers on the two, to test how well she could control them. After using it, she was confident that she could also use the Wheel of Fortune properly to save her father. Jolly knew the consequence of using the Wheel of Fortune, and it was the loss of Felicità's memory, but he did not mention it to her because she might hesitate to use it. After Dante found out, he immediately ran to stop Felicità, but when he arrived at Mondo's room, it was too late. When Felicità woke up, she no longer recognized all people around her. Nova talked to Sumi-Ri about what happened to Felicità, but according to her, Nova need not to worry, for they would take care of Felicità. While Nova was sitting outside, Liberta approached him and they talked about why Felicità had two arcana powers. Due to the fact that the three of them had the same arcana power from the time they were born, Nova thought that Liberta might also be a member of their family. One day, they made a way for Felicità to remember something, so they took her to the old house hoping that some of her memories would return. But Dante only scolded them when they returned to the mansion. While they were talking about Felicità's memory loss, Jolly came and told the others that it was because of her use of the Wheel of Fortune, which he told her himself. They also found out that in order to save Mondo, Felicità was forced to use the power of the card. However, they were still angry with him because he still allowed Felicità to use her power even though he already knew the outcome of this decision. Debito had enough and pointed the gun at him. But Jolly said that if he died, Felicità's memory may not be restored. Then they realized what Jolly's power could do. Mondo came and told Jolly that he could not forgive him too, even though he did it for his sake. Liberta suddenly approached Mondo to persuade him to allow Jolly to help Felicità, and even Nova did the same. Even Mondo had no other choice but to allow Jolly to use the power of the moon on his daughter. After Jolly entered Felicità's memory, the whole area was just dark. He searched for Felicità's whereabouts but could not find her until he was getting weak. Then Mondo came and used his power to enter her daughter's memory. Suddenly the color of the surroundings changed and they saw Felicità surrounded by thorny vines. They tried to remove the vines that blocked them, but it was no use. Fortunately, Liberta and Nova entered the memory too and helped in saving Felicità. She immediately woke up and her memory returned. When Felicità was about to go to sleep, she decided to go out of her room and saw Dante and Jolly talking. She heard from the conversation that the power of the Wheel of Fortune did not fully work on Mondo. After she returned to her room, the lover's card spoke to her and told her what was missing, that the Wheel of Fortune did not work on her father. According to the lovers, to be able to fill the emotional power required by the Wheel of Fortune, Felicità must have a person she loved, because the love cannot be completed by her alone. The next day Jolly talked to Felicità to inform her about Mondo's condition. Then Felicità told him that the lover's card spoke to her and informed her what it required her to do. As for Jolly, she should choose one between Liberta and Nova. Meanwhile, the two were talking about Nova's parents. Liberta got angry because Nova was not telling the truth about his feelings. Even he could see in him that he wanted to use his power to wake up her parents again. After Liberta punched Nova to bring him back to his senses, he offered him his hand, and Felicità also came to help Nova. They made research on what could be the solution when Jolly saw them. He told them that Nova had to use his power the same way he used it when he put his parents to sleep. But it was also possible that he would be the one to not wake up after using his power. Nova did not care about this as long as his parents wake up from their long sleep. When they arrived at the residence of Nova's parents, he used his power to try and wake them up. But he lost consciousness, and when he woke up his parents still had not woken up. Due to the approaching Arcana Duel, the training of the participants was in full swing. When the tournament came, those with Arcana powers quickly defeated their competitors in the preliminary round. Felicità fought Debito, Pache and Luca one after the other, and she defeated them all. Liberta and Dante fought each other, and on the other hand was Nova and Sumi-Ri. Liberta managed to defeat Dante, and Nova also defeated Sumi-Ri. Because of this, Nova and Liberta would fight while Felicità waits to see who would win between the two. The fight between the two has started and neither of them wanted to lose. The battle lasted until the afternoon, that they decided to use their remaining power for the final attack. They rushed at each other, and due to the excessive use of Arcana powers they both weakened and lost consciousness. When they woke up, they were informed that their fight had been a draw, so it was Felicità who fought against Mondo. While they were fighting, Mondo's illness affected him. When Mondo used his power, Felicità was able to give the required love of the lover's card. It turned out that she also responded to the love given by the others. Because of this, Felicità activated the Wheel of Fortune and was able to save her father from death. Then she was declared the winner of the contest. As a reward, Felicità asked that her father still rule the Arcana Famiglia as long as he was alive. I hope you like the story and give it a thumbs up. Thank you for watching.